However, this model does not include the chronosphere, which was the last system added by Urey in 1979. Based on previous research, I came up with 4 hypotheses. The first hypothesis was this cohort has high technological aptitude. The second hypothesis was this cohort has high worries about costs. The third hypothesis was this cohort has a high percentage of divorced parents. And the final hypothesis was this cohort is not trustful of the government. Participants in this study included 42 individuals between the ages of 18 and 24. For the materials, we used a survey which was sent to individuals through email or social media, included a thank you note, and had 40 questions. The survey consisted of 6 parts. The first part asked what the age was of the participant. The second part looked at the microsystem. The third part looked at the mesosystem. The fourth part looked at the exosystem. The fifth part looked at the macrosystem. And the sixth and final part looked at the chronosystem. Participants completed the survey either using their computer, tablet, or phone. Before taking the survey, they were informed about the anonymity, age requirement, as well as the purpose of the study. After the survey was finished, they received a thank you notification. Results support this cohort having high technological aptitude, worries about cost, and are distrustful of their government. However, the results did not support this cohort having a high percentage of divorced parents. This is evidenced by the fact that when asked, how often do you use the internet? 57.5% of 40 responses said they spent more than 20 hours a week on the internet. 25% spending 16 to 20 hours a week. 7.5% spending 11 to 15 hours. 10% spending 5 to 10 hours. And 0% spending less than 5 hours. Another piece of evidence that supported the hypothesis that this cohort has high technological aptitude is when asked, do you use social media? 95.1 of 41 responses reported they did in fact use social media. The final piece of evidence that supported this hypothesis is when asked, on a scale of 1 to 4, how much did technology play in your education? 64.1 of responses reported a 3 or higher. Results also supported the hypothesis for this cohort having high worries about cost. This is evidenced by the fact that when asked on a scale of 1 to 5, how much do you worry about cost? 90.3 out of 41 responses reported a 3 or higher. Results did not support the hypothesis for this cohort having a high percentage of divorced parents. 73.8% out of 42 responses reported their parents did not get a divorce. Results also supported the final hypothesis that this cohort is distrustful of the government. This is evidenced that by the fact that when asked, do you trust your government? 75.6% out of 41 responses reported no. Here's the figure for how often do you use the internet a week. Here's a figure for do you use social media. Here's a figure for how much the technology play a role in your education. Here's a figure for how much do you worry about cost. Here's a figure for do you trust your government. In conclusion, the combination of the negative consequences of using technology, worrying about costs, and not trusting their government can result in a myriad of mental health symptoms, such as higher levels of social anxiety, cost anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Due to this, the Generation Z cohort may be more susceptible to mental health symptoms. The next logical step for research on this topic would be to compare the Generation Z cohort to other generations, as well as investigate the anxiety levels of other generations, and then comparing and contrasting the results with the results from the Generation Z cohort. Here are the references used for my presentation. Thank you again for listening to my presentation.